And welcome everybody to another episode of Mac Yak. With a special guest tonight, we have Logan from Crazy Tech Review, right? Is that did I get it right? Okay.
Crazy Tech Reviews.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So, hold on. Now I just pulled my microphone out.
And as I was saying the other day, we in light of sort of being sensitive. We don't think it should be crazy tech reviews anymore. We think it should be mentally diverse tech reviews.
Yes, mentally diverse tech reviews.
You know, mentally challenged.
Yeah, mentally challenged tech reviews. I like it.
Yeah.
Yes, Steve sent me that one.
Yeah, glad to have you here, and we're gonna talk about that topic one tonight. So hold on, Logan, but we're gonna get you in there because we got some weird stuff that happened with your channel this week, so we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. How's everybody been doing this week, and have we been doing anything lately? I know that Steve and Bruce have done some streaming this week. Yeah, you did.
Okay, good. Yeah, maybe. Steve definitely did.
Well, I know Steve did. Did you do anything, Mike? I thought you did.
Yeah, I uploaded a video on, I did it. What day did I do it? I did it on Saturday for my Patreon supporters, and I made it live. Or no, I did it Friday for Patreon, and then I made it live on Sunday.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't watch it, because I was tearing apart the MacBook you sold.
I need to go watch it then.
And actually making the thing run at less than 100 degrees.
There you go. Well, I told you I didn't do any of the thermal paste stuff. So.
No, I'm not upset.
Yeah.
No, it runs beautiful now. The thing that's disappointing is I wish I could get my 17-inch to behave as well as that one does now. So, although Jay and I actually did go through a couple things with my 17-inch, my Core 2 Duo, and we did figure out a few things that were kind of really ticking the processor off. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we should address. So the question mark is either Jay or Steve, and the other one is either Steve or Jay.
I believe the question mark,
is Steve.
And the S is Jay.
Yes.
So they will be joining us shortly. They have both been temporarily detained.
Yes, Steve is out wrangling rabbits, and Jay is out wrangling roosters.
Yeah, literally. That's the story. That's exactly what they're doing.
Pretty much.
Yeah, too many R's and W's there, right? Roosters, rabbits.
Wrangling roosters and rabbits. Arithmetic.
Yeah. All right, guys. So first off the bat tonight is our news and announcement section. First off is the Apple event is on Tuesday, and the date they picked too, 4/20.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Why wasn't the icon a cloud of smoke? I don't know.
So apparently there's a logo. I haven't looked at it yet, but the logo is reminiscent of the old rainbow apple. Mm-hmm. What do we think will be released?
Nothing related to that whatsoever.
They seem to have been using that style of logo a lot recently. Like I know when they did, I forget which one it was. They used sort of like it had like the rainbow color scheme, but it was almost sort of like Yeah, sort of like a three-dimensional of water droplet sort of thing. You know what I'm talking about?
They kind of tease the old school vibe, but then there's really nothing
old school.
I feel like they're sort of trying to go back to it for sort of cultural reasons or sort of like pop culture reasons or something like that. Or it may just be because of the new colored products or something like that,
So just it goes 45th anniversary Apple III. Or Apple II, sorry. I see there's an exclamation point there. When you're looking at it from a distance with my bad eyes, it looks like a
Apple
3.
II.
Yeah, it does.
Madeleine would like a 40th and 5th anniversary Apple III.
Yeah, she would. That'd be like a 40th anniversary, though, right? Maybe. I don't know. When did Apple III first come out? So
I think it was 1982 or 83.
The Apple III?
Was it something like that?
The Apple III came out in 1980.
Oh, 1980. Okay.
The first one came out in 1980, and then the Apple III Plus came out in 1982.
So that'd be 41 years. So yeah.
I didn't know there was an Apple III Plus. I just thought it was the Apple III, and then they just killed off the product line.
Oh wait, she corrected us all.
The Apple III Plus.
So Madeleine just corrected you. It's 1979. The Apple III.
It was. 1980.
I could have sworn it was 80 something. I didn't think it was.
Well,
that
you got to
early.
remember the first Apple came out what 77,
75.
70
yeah.
5, and then the Apple II came out like
Apple
70.
2 came out. The 2 came out in 77.
Yeah,
The
Wait,
2,
I think.
the 2 Plus came out in 78,
Hmm.
and then the 2E came out in
83.
83.
yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean...
And I'm
I
sure
guess-
Madeleine will probably correct me because I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm getting old, and I'm trying to memorize a million part numbers right now in my head. So, my Apple history is probably a little rusty at this point in time.
Apple History, the website, is saying that the Apple III was introduced in June 1980.
Ooh.
I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily saying they are the authority, but that is what they have published on that particular
I don't know. Madeline's
Well,
a pretty
from what
good.
I remember, I feel like it was 1982. Well, not 1982, but like it was 1980
Come on,
as
Logan,
well.
you weren't even thought of back then, were you? I was still in high school in '82, so. But anyways, all right. So they're doing that event on 420. So what do we think is going to be released during that?
A big cloud of smoke.
Maybe.
AirTags.
That's one. Was
I don't know. What about a new Mac Pro? Because it's been almost 2 years now
They're
since
not
they
gonna
released
come out with
the.
Mac Pro yet.
I don't
Nah.
think so.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna run the Mac Pro no less than, I'm going to say, 3 years, maybe
Yes.
4 before
Well, but you got to
Because-
figure that.
I can guarantee you right now, Apple's still under a contract with Intel. They got to fulfill that contract somehow.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're going to they may come out with an updated Mac Pro.
Well,
With a
it's
better
It's
processor.
still, but it's still going to be an Intel machine.
Yes, I agree with you there. Yes.
When you said a new Mac Pro, I was
No,
thinking,
no.
oh, a new Mac Pro with a M series processor.
I'm thinking just a slightly upgraded, Mac Pro.
Probably. They're probably if they're doing anything with the Mac Pro, they're probably going to try to make it more competitive in the higher end market. Right now, their Apple Silicon chips are pretty much waxing everything. This is what people say. I mean, I don't have firsthand experience, of course.
Yeah.
So, but apparently, everybody's saying that the new Mac Mini is more powerful than the existing Mac Pro.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. I think
Well-
it's brought pretty close. But
Now, have they released any major hardware at one of these Apple event things that wasn't one of the big
Sometimes.
conferences?
It depends. I think they did they didn't do they did the iPhone in June when they released it. But the only reason why they did the iPhone like they did because they actually did the event and didn't release the iPhone for almost 7 months afterwards because they had to do something because they had to put the FCC paperwork in, and once the FCC paperwork went in, guess what? The whole world
Everyone
would know
knows.
exactly what it is because it's public then. So that was the one big reason why they did it because at the time nobody thought that Apple was going to be doing a phone. Nobody even realized that. And then when Steve Jobs walked out there, he goes the internet communicator, a phone, and a music player all in one. He did the 3 little things But and even that phone at the time was so buggy that it was going to. They actually were shocked that the demo actually worked. In fact, I think Steve Jobs was sweating bullets that, he wasn't, but the engineers were sweating bullets that hopefully that something didn't crash.
This is definitely the longest answer to do they do hardware at these events.
Well, we're trying to stretch it out too. So.
What about an update on the next OS 11? I guess.
To be honest with you,
Do we know what that's
I don't
called
think
yet?
I don't think that's going to come out until probably June sometimes.
Yeah, it's probably going to be at WWDC.
Yeah, that's a WWDC type.
Do we
of
even know
thing.
what that's going to be called yet?
Probably bigger, sir. I don't know.
Little Sir.
Yeah.
It's a minor update.
Yeah, it's going to be OS 11.2, I believe, probably, or maybe 11.1 maybe. I don't know. But anyways, that's the.
I would like to think that they're going to be releasing an iMac. I would like to see an Apple Silicon iMac is what I would like to see.
I would
It's
probably bet
gonna
money
be
on
some
that.
kind of hardware.
I think they're going to release an iMac with an M1 or maybe an M2 chip, whatever they got come in the pipeline.
Well, M1X isn't that the
M1X,
one?
yeah.
That was the one that there was a leak on a benchmarking website, in January or something like that, and so I mean, we know that one's kind of ready and raring to go, so maybe they're going to be dropping that into something.
Well,
and
apparently
I definitely
because
feel like the iMac has to be next.
Well, apparently because that benchmark blew anything Intel had out of the water. People were looking at that benchmark and going, "What?" Because they were basically saying Intel's dead. I mean, goodbye, Intel.
Yeah.
And
Intel responded with their lovely ad campaign.
Justin Long.
Yeah.
Justin Long, yeah.
But you can't touch the
Stop
screen.
this, Apple. Justin Long.
I don't think anybody's going to worry about touching a screen when the computer runs 20 times.
Well, my main issue with that ad campaign is that really you can tell how desperate they were because none of the points they made in any of the ads had anything to do with their actual products that they manufacture. It's like, it doesn't matter like just because a particular type of machine that has a touchscreen or whatever uses an Intel processor doesn't mean that it's any better than any other computer out there. I mean, just because they're sort of using the fact that there's PCs with touchscreens versus Macs without touchscreens to work with the processor, so it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I don't really find it very convincing.
That's right. It really has nothing to do with with Intel whatsoever. So yeah, I mean they were just basically saying that was an ad to just say don't buy Apple.
Yeah, pretty much.
But then the icing on the cake with that whole situation is then 2 weeks later after they started doing that, then they wanted to go back to Apple and have Apple manufacture the M1 chips for Apple. So it's kind of like you kind of ruined your chance there.
Apple's like, nah, I think we got that covered. Sorry.
Because the funny thing is if I remember correctly, one of the reasons they wanted to do the M1 chips was to, not have to pay somebody else they still have some other chip fab manufacture the chips, but not have to pay for Intel's chips.
No, it actually wasn't that. It was the fact that Intel is not moving fast enough to keep up.
Yeah.
In fact, Intel was supposed to be at the 7 nanometer by now. AMD actually passed them up in that respect, but Intel was way behind. And by the time they get a chip out, Apple was ready to release some new hardware, and they had to put older chips. Because if you ever see Apple products when they release, they have older chips in them than what Intel has. So Intel wasn't working fast enough for Apple's speed, so Apple decided to go on their own route.
This is kind of what happened when they moved across from the PowerPC chips as well. I mean, they just weren't getting the performance they wanted from them. Yep. Particularly for the mobile market, and that's sort of that's why they then made the move to Intel back then. And it's kind of the same thing. It's they're ultimately being frustrated by someone who makes part of their computer. So. Do it themselves.
Yeah, and I believe too, from what I heard, it was the same incident with the 2016 MacBook Pro, where it was designed to be thinner and to accept a 7 nanometer size chip, and until they didn't have it out by that point, then I guess they kept on pushing the release dates back and back until I'm not sure if it's sometime this year or later on after this year, but they still haven't done it.
Yep. All right. Next news item. Rumors are suggesting Apple is rolling out new randomized product serial numbers very soon. These new numbers will likely be harder to decipher, which means that one of our Mac Yackers here, Jay, from the House of Moth, who runs the website called appleserialnumberinfo.com.
You got it right, and he's not here.
Yes. Will basically it won't work anymore as far as him being able to decipher. He's going to have to individually probably put people to put their serial numbers in. That's the only way it's going to work because
unless there is a non-random component to it, that has something that it can decipher from it. But they've been threatening to do this for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, though. I mean, what's the point of doing randomized serial numbers?
Probably the main point is that they're trying to make it harder for people to really do anything regarding...
Where's the harm, though? I don't understand where the harm is in someone being able to look at a serial number and figure out information about that computer based on what's encoded in that serial number. I mean, to me, that is actually an incredibly convenient thing. I mean, if you're looking to buy something on eBay or something like that, they photograph the serial number, you decode it, you know everything about it. Because a lot of the time people put stuff on eBay and they go, they put up a MacBook and then they say MacBook Pro, or they put up a MacBook Air and they say, MacBook. I mean, if you can see the serial number, you can find out exactly what it is they've got.
Yeah. What's the reason for this? I mean, I don't understand why they would go to this random. Why? What's the point?
Well, the only legitimate reason I could think of that would cause them to do this is if they're planning to offer up their own service for decoding serial numbers or something like that. But I generally don't see any reason why it would cause them any issues, unless they're maybe trying to prevent people from knowing, certain things about their machines or whatever.
Well, they already kind of do that, because you can actually go to Apple's website, put in your serial number, and it'll tell you if it still has warranty information or whatnot on it. I mean, they have something similar to that, but they don't actually give you what the specs are like Jay's site does. Jay's site goes way into detail on the specs of what each machine is. So it's not the same as Apple's, but Apple does already do something like that. I mean, if they're going to make it harder for these third-party sites like Jay's to work, it's almost like they're doing the same thing with the right to repair, where they're making it harder for these third-party right to repair or repair shops to actually fix their stuff. I mean, look at the M1; it's almost basically unrepairable because everything's soldered to the logic board. Even though some Chinese dude, we talked about last week, figured out how to desolder and resolder bigger RAM chips on.
Said he figured it out.
Yeah,
And I don't really believe that, because if it's really that simple,
it's
you would think they would know already.
It's actually not that simple. You got to have a lot of solder skills. I'm to be honest with you, I think Bruce is very knowledgeable about soldering, but to be honest with you, I don't think Bruce would even attempt to do BGA stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've done plenty of BGA stuff, but that, it would just be so easy to wreck your computer doing that. You know what I mean? It's like if someone brings a board to me, like for instance, and I need to say replace the system management controller or something like that, the SMC chip, which is BGA.
But it's small. It's a little bitty thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're about that big. And you have to, if you can't buy replacements, so you have to get one off another board, and you have to reball it. So that's where you put a stencil on it and you put new solder balls on it, and you clean up the old one and put it on. And it's a real pain in the neck. And you know what? Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you're working on something that's broken. If someone is going to bring you a computer that is in perfect working order, and then you're going to do this sort of work to upgrade it, you're going to be risking actually, just destroying the thing. So it's a different story if it's not working. You say, I'll try and fix it and I'll try and upgrade it at the same time, but if you've got something that's in perfect working order, doing that sort of work to it, I think is crazy.
Well, you look at also where those RAM chips are is right next to the CPU. So when you're using a hot air station on that, and as many solder balls as I saw on those RAM chips, you're probably going to do some damage to that CPU, possibly. And like I said, even myself, I would not attempt to do that, but. You'd have to have some really, really good soldering skills to do that and make it, 100% every time that you do it work.
And the other thing is, of course, at this stage, all we have is the word of that person. A couple of photos of this person taking these chips off. We don't actually know for sure if it works.
I want to see a video of that. I want to see a video.
Right. I want to see, sort of the about the finder afterwards, Or about this Macintosh, sorry. Showing my age there.
No, I want to see him do it with an uncut video from start to finish, so he's not splicing something together. So he can say, "Oh, hey, he's got a M1 that has 8 gigabytes here, and another M1 over here that has 16." And you show the About My Mac, and both of them are one of them. And say, then he cuts into here's the other one.
There you go, Bruce. Bruce, Trina says when she wins the lottery, she'll send you one to give it a shot.
Give it a go. Okay, no. I can tell you one thing that would potentially make it easier, and that would be if you could buy the replacement RAM chips already with solder balls on them. Because one of the most difficult part of doing VGA rework is taking a chip that doesn't have solder balls on it and putting solder balls on it, because that's a real nightmare of a job. And so. Yeah.
Well, even Jay won't do that. He's in the chat right now, but
he's done it.
I
would.
He doesn't like to do it.
Oh, he's back.
But he's not on video.
Yeah.
Now he is.
There he is.
Let me take it off of cat cam and put it on face cam.
Cat cam.
Right. There we go.
Cat's not there.
Good evening, everybody.
There we go. We got Jay in the house, so he's not wrangling roosters anymore. So
Jay, do you have a theory as to why Apple want to randomize the serial numbers?
They said in the current format, they just ran out of combinations. They've exhausted.
Couldn't they just add a number or a letter?
They could.
Or 4 more.
They could, but innovation.
We were just talking about how this is going to screw over your website.
Well, I mean,
they announced it last year. The fact that it hasn't happened yet. I don't know.
Well, even if they randomize it, I mean, they're going to run out of stuff too. I mean, depending on how long the serial number is.
They cannot, at least from how I understand everything works, they cannot truly randomize it because there's no way to know which product is affected by a recall.
Yeah.
Right.
There has to be some logic to it. And I'm going to pay Bruce $10 to figure it out for me when the time comes.
Oh, it's nice to be wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So anything else about the news before we move on?
No, I don't have anything else.
All right. So we have our guest on tonight. And the reason why we invited Logan on tonight is because just this past week, Logan got a little shock from YouTube.
Yeah,
so I'm going to let you talk about it, Logan.
So, basically, this whole situation started Monday morning this week, and basically I woke up to an email in my inbox that my YouTube channel had been terminated for spam, scamming, and commercially deceptive practices, which, as anybody could imagine, is complete BS, to be honest. So, I was kind of freaked out because I didn't know what could have, happened to cause it, and didn't have like a legitimate answer or anything, and I was, I didn't really know where to go. But fortunately,
they just point you to their guidelines,
terms of service.
Terms of service page, and say, hey, you read this, and then you figure out why you got cancelled.
Bruce had a really great comment when Steve first told us about this. Bruce was like, how can they classify something as spam or deceptive content or what was it, spam, scams, and deceptive content?
Commercially deceptive content, yeah.
When viewing YouTube is entirely voluntary.
Yeah, the definition of spam is that it is unsolicited.
Right.
And how is a YouTube video ever unsolicited? I mean, if you press play, you are opting in to see what they have to show.
Mm-hmm.
So, it can, as far as I'm concerned, YouTube videos can never actually be spam. In terms of commercially deceptive content, I don't even know what that means. I don't know what commercially deceptive means. I mean, people advertise things on their YouTube channels all the time. They promote things. They, how is something commercially deceptive? Are you saying something is good when you know it's bad, or something is bad when you know it's good? I mean,
well, what I would imagine it means is you're advertising something, that's not what it is.
It doesn't exist.
But then again, why wouldn't they just classify all that under scamming? Because technically, commercially deceptive and scamming are very similar in meaning if it's what I think it is. So, you know, it's really kind of a strange issue, and I feel like it's really just sort of a general thing that they throw on there when they don't really have, when they can't say like you were uploading like, you know, political stuff that I guess is against the terms of service or anything with nudity or in it or anything like that. When they just don't have like a specific thing to throw on it, they just, I guess, say, boom, spam, deceptive practices.
Have you done any giveaways?
Nope, I have not done any giveaways, but so that first day, basically, I was just messaging Steve. Steve and I kind of threw together this quick little appeal that basically stated that, you know, I've never done anything like that, you know, so on. And of course, that got rejected that night, but, you know, I also messaged everybody else, just try to, you know, spread as much awareness as I could about it. I did get YouTube's attention on Twitter, which I'll get back to in a bit, but yeah, not really much happened the first day. My post did get retweeted by a lot of people, which was kind of amazing.
I saw that. Yeah, it was not only Steve, but Ken from Computer Clan.
Yeah, Ken retweeted it. Sean retweeted it.
John.
Even people like Michael NJD and, you know, P. Siri or whatever, however you pronounce the channel name of, you know.
I assure you, if I knew how Twitter works, I would have tweeted it as well.
Yeah, Twitter is very confusing. I'll just say that. But yeah, that's kind of first day. But then, you know, the next day, I actually wrote out like a somewhat formal, you know. Well, the first one was formal, but it didn't really. I tried to explain some of the reasons, you know, why I thought it could have been taken down, you know, so on, and then I submitted it, and apparently. I couldn't submit in another appeal for 2 weeks after the first one was accepted or denied. So that means I would have had to have I would have had to wait till like the Tuesday after next Tuesday to submit another appeal. So that was not going to work. So I just jumped onto Twitter again and just started tweeting at YouTube, tweeting at everybody, and somehow I was able to get their attention, and we sort of they sort of were asking me information. I told them some of the reasons what I thought could have happened, and magically the next day the channel was reactivated, and boy, am I happy it was, because that was not the best way to start out a week.
No. I mean, it does sort of prompt lots and lots of questions and stuff, and I'm sure we'll cover it all. But I just wanted to mention something quickly. This is something that happened over here a few years ago, and our Prime Minister had his YouTube channel stopped with virtually the same thing, getting a notification saying spam, scam, or commercially deceptive content. That's the exact wording that was used. You know, he, you know, this is a politician. Of course, has lots of people who don't like him. Mm-hmm. And he just was getting complaints. People were reporting the video. They were reporting videos that he was posting to YouTube and complaining about them. And YouTube's just automatic algorithm just shut it down once it got a certain amount of complaints, and just shut it down with that you know, sort of notification. Now, it was back up within 24 hours, you know, but it just shows that that had nothing to do with scam, spam, or, you know, sort of commercially deceptive content. That was just receiving lots and lots of complaints for people on the other side of politics to him.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, see, that's sort of what I think happened here too. I mean, because basically, you know, there are several other channels that share the same name as mine, because I'm not creative and I can't come up with my own custom name. And basically, I think one of those channels just got ticked off and just decided, oh, hey, I'm gonna report all your videos. And then, you know, YouTube automatically banned it. And then, you know, obviously my poorly written review appeal didn't help with that, but eventually, fortunately, I was able to get it reviewed by actual humans, and I got it back. And boy, am I lucky I did, because
that's good.
My guess is that initial one that you sent off was not read by a person until the next day when your channel was brought back. So I suspect that appeal you sent through was just not read by anyone at all initially. That was
probably.
my suspicion.
Well, yeah, I think. Well, I don't think any of the appeals were read by anybody, because what I did was I sent the whoever manages the Twitter, which, by the way, I really appreciate their help. I'll just mention that right now. I think they just sent. I listed out some of the reasons I thought, including somebody spam reported the channel. Something could have been repetitively said in a video or so on. And they said they sent those over to the review team, and so I guess they took that and then just walked all the videos and then determined that there was no real offense there, fortunately. And the thing too is it really brings up the question about how much you want to sort of invest in YouTube. At the rate that they just sort of, the fact that a channel can just go from fully active to just gone in a day with no real reason and no real person reviewing it, just. The fact that somebody has the power to simply report a video and then just have your entire channel just, it really is kind of disconcerting for people who are sort of trying to get started on that platform. And, that's the reason why I recommend, investing in some other platforms too. So, that way you at least have a backup.
Yeah, I mean, look, on that, one of the things that I want to mention is one of the things we do have to remember is your channel did get restored. So it's effectively YouTube saying, yes, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Without saying, yes, we made a mistake.
YouTube do cop a lot of bad media if stuff gets published and it's bad. It's cruelty to animals or something like that, or something really, really horrendous, and they don't take it down quickly. So I can understand them erring on the side of caution when it comes to a complaint coming in, going, we take it down first and then we sort it out later. I definitely feel like that's the attitude. Now, I mean, I agree with you totally. I mean, it really scares you. I mean, if you're in a situation where you've invested, sort of thousands of hours into YouTube content creation, and you build up these subscribers and even build up an income source from it, and then they have the power to just flick the switch at any time. It's terrifying, because I mean, just what an awful situation to be in. But I can understand why they they do shut things down when if a complaint comes, because they're just protecting themselves from bad publicity, really.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's one of the things that, and the reason why I want to have Logan on here, because this could happen to anybody. I mean, it could happen to our channel here at Mac Yak. I mean,
totally. Let's hope not, but there's a chance.
Yeah. All it takes is somebody to sit there and say, hey, Mac Yak is spamming people, or they're putting spam out or something like that, and we could have the same exact thing happen to us. But luckily, we do keep archive of all of our videos. Jay does a pretty good job of downloading them and keeping them on a server.
Really good job. I do a fantastic job.
I know you do. Except he just doesn't want to show his face right now.
Well, there's nothing to see. I'm dealing with a customer that needs some emergency help.
Ah, okay. But
yeah.
So, but anyways, like I said, it could happen to anybody. It's happened to Logan. It's happened to like Bruce said, the Prime Minister, and it's happened to other people that
Yeah.
So I mean, you gotta have backups, and like Jay said, we had a thing talking about backups on your Mac, but you also have to have backup for your social media. Okay. There's other sites out there that you could go to. I think Rumble is one, but I've seen their site. And
Odyssey is another good one.
It's their ad system really sucks over on Rumble. It's horrible because it'll play about 2 seconds and then it'll go to an ad and then it'll show the rest where it starts right back off. So it's like if you're saying something right at the beginning, it'll say your first word and then cut into it and then go to it. But so yeah, I've had issues with that. What is LBRY?
Library.
Is that
it's technically called Odyssey now, but basically it's very similar to YouTube. It's what I have It's my other profile that I have Crazy Tech Reviews back on. The really nice thing about it is it automatically syncs with your YouTube channel. So, like, if I upload something on my YouTube channel, now that I can actually do that again, fortunately, it will just move. It will just be ported over straight to their platform. And fortunately, I was very lucky enough that I started transferring my channel over probably back in like February or January of it was like mid-February of this year. And lucky enough, it like just finished, I guess, sometime recently before the channel got taken down. So all my stuff, for the most part, most of my public videos from, the past year or two were up on there, good to go. I could just download them and put them right back on YouTube if I had to, but fortunately I didn't. And I also have them saved to my hard drive still. Fortunately, I don't produce that much content, so it doesn't really pile up that much. So yeah, so I can fit it all on like a folder on my hard drive. But yeah, I typically back up the videos in multiple places and the channel in multiple places. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to follow the Odyssey, because I currently only have like 5 followers on there. So yeah, be sure to check that out.
I didn't know they changed their name. That's interesting.
Yeah, they changed it to Odyssey at some point.
There are a number of these, whatever you want to call them, backup to YouTube type networks.
Yeah, I use BitChute. All my
BitChute has been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And every time someone says that, I think they're saying bitch.
Well, I was talking to Logan about it a few days ago, and I was using Siri, and it said bitch shoot. I said, no, not what I meant. Bitch,
no, she's fine. Don't shoot her.
Shoot, as in a shoot for bits.
Yes.
The only thing, though, I've heard about BitChute that isn't very good is it doesn't really support more than like 480p apparently, which can be kind of troublesome.
Yeah, I don't know many details about that, but it is very apparent nowadays that if you're going to be a content creator, you've got to protect your material. So if you're uploading to YouTube and nowhere else, and YouTube takes you down, like we said, that's game over, because then you got to start from scratch. Even if you have a copy of everything, you've got to upload it somewhere else and start trying to let people know, hey, I'm over here now. And so having backups as you go along, it's like, just say, I don't know what YouTube's policy is about saying it in your video, like saying at the end, follow me on BitChute or whatever.
I think it's fine. Plenty of people do it.
Yeah,
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Apple's Anonymous asks Logan, have you lost all your subscribers? That is the ones you are subscribed to. So
No. Everything is basically how it was where I left it. All the people subscribed to my channel are still there, and all my subscribers that I'm subscribed to are still there.
Okay.
But had I not regained the channel, obviously I would have had to start from scratch.
Well, Apple's Anonymous says you made a comment on my intro video and now it's gone.
Oh, I guess it does.
That you put on videos might have been removed.
Yeah, it must remove the comments, because I know that while the channel is gone, all the comments got taken away. But I figured, once the channel got back reinstated, the comments would be back. But I guess it doesn't work like that.
Here's a quick question I got to ask you too. Is now, for instance, the Mac Yak is one of my 4 channels that I manage here. Okay, on my login, my YouTube login. I have my personal one, which is Greg Thompson.
Welcome back, Steve.
I have the Mac Attack. I have Mac Yak, and then I have another one that I really don't have anything on. It's called iRacing Videos. But the question I have, though, is do you have any other channels linked to that same account? And
yes,
were those still accessible? That's
well, actually, yeah. So Crazy Tech Reviews is what's referred to as a brand account, or basically it's not like its own standalone account. It's sort of like just a YouTube account that's linked to a Google account. So essentially what I have is on my personal account, I have obviously the Crazy Tech Reviews channel, but I also have several other channels, like my Random Things channel, which is sort of like just a side project thing, some cringy gaming channel I started like 3 years ago and uploaded like 2 Minecraft Let's Plays at like 5 frames per second onto, Retro Tech Talk, which was like my sort of attempt at doing like a little live podcast thing kind of like this, and then some other things, another cringy side channel for Crazy Tech Reviews I started 2 years ago that I'm not going to mention the name of because it's cringe. But basically I have like all those channels on there. But really what happened basically when this all went down is all the other channels were fine. It's just that the Crazy Tech Reviews one got taken out of that list.
Okay.
So now it might have been a different situation. Like if Crazy Tech Reviews was the actual Google account, and I just had it directly. I was uploading directly from my Google account. And, it might have taken down the entire account, and I might have had to appeal for not just the channel, but the account. But fortunately, Crazy Tech Reviews, I kept as a brand account, so I could still have access to the other ones. That's actually how I posted an update video on Random Things, the other side channel thing that, while the channel was gone, to kind of inform people. So, no, it doesn't take away all your channels, just the ones that are, like, your active, the one that was, had the accusations against it. However, from what I've heard, in my specific case, apparently YouTube went all out on me, and they permanently banned me. They permanently terminated me, which means I can no longer operate any other accounts. So I guess what they would do is they just go through and they try to fish out all the accounts that are in some way associated with my email address or with any other email address I might own through all the metadata that they have. And so there is a chance that those other channels could be taken down if they figure out. But fortunately, I was able to get mine reinstated before anything scary like that happened. So, yeah, that's sort of the whole situation there with that.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you got it restored.
Yeah, me too. I am so glad.
It's interesting because I all of my pre-recorded content I have backups of on my computer. I don't bother really backing up any of the live streams, and to be honest, if I lost them, I'm not sure I would lose a lot of sleep over it. To be
The
honest.
only reason I started saving mine, Bruce, is because what happened to Logan. I'm like, all right, let me download them, because sometimes I'll take photos of a board or whatever, but I'll forget which one I did the live stream on. If I forget what I did a repair on, I'm like, oh wait, it was that one. there's 8 hours of me doing that repair.
You've got an absolutely awesome repair job ticketing system now, so you don't really need that anymore.
Well,
Yeah,
there are a few bugs that need
repairs.
to be worked out.
I was going to say, I think what actually killed my hard drive was when I tried to download and edit Steve's stream down into a restoration video for my Mac Classic.
That's your first mistake.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the 8-hour ones, was it?
Probably was.
It was, to put it in relative terms, it was only a 3-hour one, so it wasn't terrible, but...
That's a very, very respectable time.
It's just a very small one. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've had this conversation many times over the last several years, and people always say, "Oh, I don't do anything religious or political, or I just do harmless XYZ videos," and it happens to those people too.
Mm-hmm.
There was a huge tech channel. I forgot the name of it, but the EEV blog covered it a few months ago. A tech channel that was just completely destroyed.
But they were restored, weren't they? I think.
Yeah, basically what happened with that is because, like, I actually watched that video while this was all going down, because I wanted to see sort of how it turned out for him, basically what happened is his channel was taken down under the exact same circumstances mine was, allegedly. And basically he reached out to or I guess one of his fans actually did, and EEV Blogs made the video, and I guess I think also, I'm not sure if any of you watch is it Shango66? He does like old TV videos and stuff like that. A pretty cool YouTuber.
Never seen him.
Let me double check and make sure I'm getting it right. It's something like that. Darn it. Shango066. But basically he does like videos on like old TVs and radios and stuff like that. He's like 60,000 or 50,000 subscribers. He also did a video on it, and I think.
Look at him smile.
And I think.
As if I need more
I think
hobbies
also,
and videos to watch.
Yeah. And I think also another channel called, I'm sure you've all probably heard of Big Clive.
Oh yeah, he does great live streams.
He made a video on it. So I guess with all of their publicity, somebody at YouTube noticed, I guess, or something to that effect. I'm not 100% sure. Don't take this with a grain of salt. And he got his channel reinstated like the next day, I think. So he got really lucky with that.
Yeah, but that's if you have the right friends with the right amount of subscribers. Someone might start a channel tomorrow, have 10 subscribers, and get kicked off. Someone might have put the last 5 years of their life in it and suddenly get kicked off and not have friends in the right places. The point is, you cannot only be on YouTube. You have to have your stuff elsewhere, else you just.
And fortunately, I got really lucky in the situation because I had, a lot of contacts that, have a bigger influence than me that were able to sort of, spread the awareness with this. And I know the right people to sort of, inform about it. And
so
I got
do you know
really
PewDiePie? That's the question.
No.
No, you got Ken retweeting your stuff. You had MJW, retweeting your stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, my internet's cut out. Hold on.
Yeah, but so you got good awareness. And that's the thing. If you don't have that reach, you're kind of out alone there. I think the more pressure they get, who knows? Maybe that helped.
Do we know? Yeah. We just don't know if any of that did anything at all. I mean, it might have done nothing.
Yeah. I think what really helped. Well, see, I think it definitely did help because obviously. I would have done it anyway, even if it didn't have any effect, because the more people that are aware, the more people the bigger your chances are of finding somebody who has a position at YouTube or somewhere where they can help out, and also it helps inform your viewers, that you don't you don't have that your channel just got nuked off the face of the planet.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing too, because if you don't have a presence really other than your YouTube, then it's how do you tell people?
Yeah. Fortunately, I think the main thing that helped with this was the fact that I, have a lot of people that I know in the vintage Mac community who have YouTube channels, and those people know people who have bigger YouTube channels, and then those people know other big YouTubers, and so it sort of spread like wildfire from all these different people who I communicated it to, and everybody sort of came together to help me get out of the situation. And honestly, it was really surprising because it got to the point where there were big YouTubers that I've grown up watching that I've never had any association with, like Michael MJD and stuff like that. Even
that's
almost
the coolest thing about all this is that the community came together and said,
"Yeah, I think they were all terrified by what happened to you. That's why."
Well, yeah, because like I said, if it could happen to a small YouTuber, I mean,
it can definitely happen.
Well, look at Crazy Ken. I mean, he has crazy in some of his titles,
Yeah.
So you think about that.
Also, speaking of crazy, I love the Crazy Tech Reviews Too Crazy to YouTube or for YouTube.
Ken's sitting there going, maybe they're going to ban me because I'm not actually crazy.
Well, that's because they're going to ban you because you don't do anything.
I have a certificate to prove it. Well, we're glad to have you back, Logan.
Yes.
So thank you for telling us your tale.
At least they did the right thing in the end. So
yeah,
that's good.
And also, anybody who helped out in any way, whether you're a single person or a YouTuber with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, I don't care. I appreciate it all just as much. Thanks for doing something to help me get my channel back, and can't thank everybody enough for coming together to help me get out of the situation. So yeah. Thanks.
I did what I could. I just reported you to Google.
Oh, so Jay's the one who did it.
Now I know what to do different next time.
So,
do you have anything to explain there?
Well,
nope.
The one thing I want to say is that we when Steve told us about this, I think everybody knows that we do have a iMessage chat that we all talk. We talk every day. I mean, we must do about 50, 60, 70, maybe a couple of hundred messages a day.
Well, you saw
to the point where if it's quiet for too long, people start, is everybody okay?
Well,
Rudy
was gone for 3 days, and he comes back and he's got
777 messages.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now that's probably not all us, but that's
Yeah.
We like to chat a little bit.
But anyways, so Steve told us about this, and the first thing I thought was, let's get Logan on the show to talk about this, because this is a good topic. I mean, this is something that's, like I said, everyone needs to know what happened, and we're glad you came on the show tonight and was able to make it.
No, I really appreciate you guys inviting me. Thanks.
Here's what happened. Sean said he called Larry Page and Sergey Brin directly, and that must be what fixed it.
So it's that RGB, G4 cube that did it.
Of course, Sean knows those people. Of course he does.
That's the cursed Mac. He said, "I'll send the cursed Mac to you."
Maybe
the channel is back. Are you going to clean your basement?
Possibly.
That sounds like a Mac 84.
Okay.
There's one question I have to ask. Did you touch up the black paint on those doors that you had in the background of your studio there?
Oh, the doors. Well, you know what? Yeah, I did, but the only issue...
That's a no.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Let me explain this. I touched them up, but I used a flat black paint on a glossy door. And I only realized this after it dried. So there's like certain spots like on there where it's just like flat black and it just goes to like,
But they're not white anymore. That's what we're asking.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Actually, you should paint the whole thing flat black, especially if it's going to be, because you don't want the glare off of it.
Well, I mean, it'll be really good for lighting, a lot of contrast.
Yeah.
Everything will stand out a lot, it's just going to be like my face just like in a black void.
Yep. But anyways, we're glad to have you on here, and I guess unless we got anything else, we can go ahead and move on to our next topic here.
Moving on.
Let's see hold on, let me make sure I got the right one here, because no, I do not, because Steve put it wrong, but here we go.
Sure.
Anyways, I'm gonna blame Jay because he put the topics in, and then you made a change to it at the last minute.
No, the change to the topics came after I was already done.
So there's a new article up on Mac Yak, and it's a very good article. I actually read the whole thing, and it's very well written and very informative about the Apple repair service. I suggest everybody go check it out. If somebody wants to post a link in there, I appreciate it. I mean, I could do it, but all you guys are not doing anything.
Yeah. Let's all do it. Can we all do it?
Everybody do it.
Everybody that has, administrator or moderator access can do it. So.
Oh, so you can't post hyperlinks?
No, if you're not a moderator, you cannot post a hyperlink. Which is a good thing, because David would have been posting his link, I guess. So there we go. Anyways, so basically the article is about Madeleine's frustrating experience trying to get her 2017 MacBook Pro 15-inch with Touch Bar fixed under the Apple keyboard replacement program. Yeah. So apparently, Apple thinks that she got it over 4 years ago. However, she has an invoice that says, no, it is less than 4 years ago, because where she bought it at. So always check when you look at in fact, we talked about this earlier about the Apple, if you go to the Apple website and put in your serial number to check your service status and everything, check the purchase date on there to make sure Apple has the correct purchase date, because that's what they go by when they do these service programs and stuff. And I think Madeleine found out the hard way that Apple really is stringent on that, and she was only 3 months over the expiration of that service program. And Apple refused to do it. So
they were looking at the serial number and said your computer was made in such and such, and then she had bought it much later than that. And they're supposed to go by
the purchase date.
The purchase date, and they didn't have it on record. And she was like, "Really, you guys?" And so she was able to prove it to them, and then they finally said, "Okay, well." Yeah. I think
that's honestly really deceptive business practices, in my opinion, because the reality is
commercially deceptive.
Yeah. I think Logan's becoming an expert on that.
Yeah. But I feel like that's a really deceptive sort of practice there, because the reality is that if Apple manufactures a product and they don't manufacture it right when it's being sold to the customer, and it sits in a warehouse, if that customer comes back and they're counting on the date it was manufactured when it's sold 6 months later, it shouldn't really be counted like that, because then it's kind of
I mean, this just always screams to me, one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, and it doesn't surprise me that they don't have a record of some products, whether it was registered a different way or purchased through a different channel than they normally keep records of. It's a good thing to always have a receipt scanned in or a photo of it. Especially if it's a high ticket item like a laptop or a phone, you never know when you're going to have to prove when you purchase something, especially with all these class action lawsuits and these recalls going on. You never know if that's going to affect you. It never hurts to just take the 5 minutes out of your time and make a copy of that receipt.
Yeah.
A little insight on how it works on Apple's end. They, of course, sell large batches of products to Best Buy, to thousands of companies, tens of thousands of companies across the world. And they will project when an item will be sold based on previous sales numbers. Like, okay, we supply them with 1,000 Macs. Usually they sell out in a week. And they kind of estimate the purchase date in their system based on that. What a third-party company is supposed to do is give Apple records of when certain units were sold with serial number and everything. But not a lot of companies do this. So then Apple takes the date where they supplied it to, let's say, Best Buy, and if a product is registered, they will take that date and they kind of estimate in between when it was sold.
Now I can talk on Best Buy, and when Best Buy sells a Apple product, okay, they actually have to scan in not only the product code, but also they have to scan in the barcode or the serial number barcode.
Yep.
You have to do both of those. And even when you purchase something online, even if you purchase it and you don't pick it up for like 3 or 4 days, the actual pickup date is the date that you actually purchase it, not the actual day you ordered it.
Some companies are, especially the bigger companies, can communicate this information back to Apple more accurately and more frequently. But, smaller shops and smaller resellers, they typically don't. And Apple is not very strict about it either.
Yeah, and I think, as far as, like I said, Best Buy goes, they're pretty strict on that because, sometimes if we can't get the serial number to scan, we can't sell it. The serial number has to be a valid serial number in order for it to be sold. And that's just one of the things that, Best Buy has to do. Because you got to remember, these big box companies like Target, Walmart, Best Buy, if you ever look at them, they all have that little Apple, the same. If you go in there, all look the same. The little Apple area. They look identical. Even the Army Air Force Exchange Service, which is the PX, if everybody is familiar with that, the PX has the same exact Apple setup. I mean, there's no difference. So whatever you go in, they're always a setup exactly the same. Yeah. And there's an Apple rep that actually comes from Apple to actually change out products and stuff. And I know in our store they do this. They do that. We don't touch any of the Apple stuff. They have an Apple rep come in and actually change out all that stuff. So the thing is, though, is that I think that Apple is more integrated with these big box stores than we think. Now, a smaller store, like a mom and pop or something that might be selling them off on the side or something, I don't know about that. That's a little different. Or if, let's say, for instance, you sell or if you're a reseller, let's say you go and buy a bunch of MacBooks and then you sell them on eBay or whatever, because there's a lot of scalpers out there that do that. Why, I don't know, because you're not making any money off of it because you're buying it at the same price anybody else can buy it. But they go and do that anyways. And so the resellers, whenever you buy something off of eBay like that, you're going to probably be getting the actual purchase date that person actually purchased it. Even though it's a brand new product, the Apple will understand that is the actual purchase date. So therefore, that's what they're going to go by. Now, in Madeleine's case, however, I think, as I understood it, she purchased it from a authorized reseller. But it's an authorized reseller, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like Jay was saying, maybe that reseller or the third-party reseller did not provide them with the actual purchase.
Yeah, and they may do it at a delayed fashion. They may send in
Yeah.
records every 3 months or something. Who knows?
Exactly.
The company in question is a very, very large chain out here that's actually owned, like it's one of the bigger companies. It's owned by, sort of one of the big sort of grocery store companies out here. So it's, it's a really big organization. You would assume with that place that if there was a process in place for them to send purchase data to Apple, that they would be doing it and doing it in a timely fashion, an organization like that. So, yeah, I don't know.
I should
what the
also mention that Apple has become a lot more strict on how serial numbers and purchases are registered because, it's been going on for almost a decade, but they really started driving it home since 2014, 15. That's when they really started. Oh, God.
Who did it?
Did that?
Who did
What the hell?
that? Ah.
Really?
All right. Whoever
Nobody
did
wants
that.
to be
That's
together.
There we go.
What the hell?
Is device, what's it called? DEP, Device Enrollment Program, and Mobile Device Management, MDM. You are able to buy computers directly from Apple for your organization, and as soon as you buy them, as soon as you buy them, the serial number is automatically enrolled to your mobile device management server. So as soon as you power them up, they do whatever customized stuff you want them to do for your organization. That was only possible through Apple. You had to buy it from Apple Retail, or no, I think it was actually only Apple Online or the business service. But now that same, what do you want to call it, service luxury was extended to third parties just a few years ago. So now, like GT said, if we can't scan the barcode, we can't sell it, because if I buy it, it doesn't matter. I'm not an organization or a large business. I can enroll that Mac in mobile device management anytime I want. But if that Mac happens to be sold to a CEO of a company or an employee of that company, the only time to enroll that Mac into that service is at the time of purchase, if you want it done automatically. To try and correct that after the fact is a nightmare, even for Apple. So they have, I would say 2015-16 is when they started getting really strict on it. I don't know if that varies per country, but it may be that Madeleine was just outside of that time, or maybe that business that she bought it from was not enrolled with that program with Apple yet. Else, the purchase date would have been 100% accurate.
But I think that Apple should have still recognized, if she provided them with a actual receipt.
Which she did. And the moment they do that, even just by Australian consumer law, it has to be acknowledged. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure it all, worked out in the end. It was just that sort of, it was the fact that they were willing to actually, question it. That they were, sort of that she had that evidence there, but they were actually, willing to fight her on it.
Yeah, so it seems like at the end of her article, she mentions that she gave the authorized repair individual an invoice, and she's waiting their response. So I hope that they could resolve this, because that is just absolutely ridiculous. I went through a similar repair thing where they claimed my purchase date was not within the bounds, and it turns out that they had the wrong purchase date. They had the purchase date of when I ordered the machine. Thankfully, it took a few weeks to ship. So it's like,
well, see, in by Australian consumer law, there is absolutely no requirement for you to register anything. There's no legal requirement for you to register a product when you receive it. In order for you to get a warranty honoured, all you need is proof of purchase. So if you can present a receipt for the date, that they have to honour it. Now that's standard warranty situation. I don't know if that consumer law extends to things like product recalls or extended warranties where, they might have said, look, this was a 12-month warranty, it's now a 4-year warranty or whatever, because we know that it has this problem. Now, I don't know if the same consumer law is covered under those circumstances. Who's typing?
Someone needs to replace their space bar.
Yeah, it sounds like GT's playing a game of Centipede on his keyboard.
Yeah, or playing the drums or something.
Yeah.
Since she has the receipt, Apple really doesn't have a choice.
Yes, she says they have not agreed yet.
So they will. It'll take some time, but they will. I have no doubt.
Anyway, though, my bad for clicking the non-COVID friendly button in Skype. I was trying to make it to where it showed like my camera feed in the.
Maybe we should have told.
So Logan, if you go onto large grid, that's the best view we've found for when you're doing this.
Yeah, never, ever, ever when we're live hit that together mode.
So what happens on your end, GT, when we do that?
It blanks everybody out. I have to go back to grid mode manually on my side to get everybody to come back.
I find it weird that just universally does it across everybody's thing. I figured it would just be like, I figured together movement, it will put mine in there as well.
Well, it's really funny because we've talked about this with Skype before. I know we're sort of getting off track here a little bit, but Skype regularly changes the way you can view things, and for no real reason. I mean, a while ago there was a system where you could go grid, you could set it up as a grid, and then you could get your own picture, and you could move it anywhere on the page you wanted. So you could stick it up in the corner or in the middle.
Not anymore.
You put it in a spare space, but now you can't.
I don't know why it's even still there, because you can't even see yourself, and then you can't even move it either.
I know, it's so tiny. Yeah.
I know, it's like this little tiny half-inch tall little speck in the top of your screen.
You can't resize it at all, no matter what you do.
Like a serial killer back there behind me or something. Yeah.
And we basically just found that every time you quit out of Skype and it would do an automatic update, you'd launch it again, and then something else would be gone or changed.
Yeah.
And then along the way, they created this together mode, which just appeared one day. And we're like, what is this? And all of a sudden, all of the faces are all together on something that looks like a Roman forum or something like that.
It's weird.
You were all, like some concrete stairs or something like that.
The more we talk about this, the more I want to click it.
Oh, God, don't do it.
Just to anger GT.
It's not code friendly.
You know what?
We have to be at least... Our faces have to be at least 6 feet apart, guys. So,
if they could see it on the stream, I would say go ahead. But if we do it, they're just going to see a bunch of...
I'm wearing solder mask. I'm fine.
Yeah.
All right. I hope Madeleine's issue gets resolved.
Yes, I hope so too. Okay, so we did talk about the Apple event, but Steve found out something kind of neat, and I'm going to let Steve talk about it here.
Sure. So I wasn't the originator of this. I found it out on Mac Rumors. But I thought it was very interesting that apparently if you asked Siri when the next Apple event was, a few days before Apple announced it, it said, hey, April 20th is the event, and go to apple.com for more info. And first off, I thought that was very interesting. And second off, it made me wonder, has that, who thought to ask Siri that? Like, has that been going on for a while? Have you always just been able to ask, a few weeks or a day before the event? I'm very curious of, when they programmed that into Siri for that particular event, because everyone thought there was going to be an event in March, and there was not. So I thought that was very interesting. But also it was who would think to ask Siri a question like that? I mean, I wouldn't have. But it's funny that they programmed a response for it, and then that response was there before Apple actually made their announcement, which I think was later that day or the next day or something. It was pretty close. But I just thought that was very interesting, and I don't recall that ever happening before. So I was just curious of everyone's thoughts on that. It's very interesting.
Siri, if we're getting a new iMac?
Yeah. Somebody should ask that. Hey, Siri, what are you releasing in the next... Oh, wait. Shut up. Nope, don't. The little thing started popping up there.
I was going to say, it's a good thing my headphones are on, because mine would have answered too.
When I did that, it says Apple.com should be able to answer that question. They get spot.
But when you clicked on Apple.com, there was nothing there, though, right?
Yeah, because it's just a link. It'll just go to the homepage.
The pretty little rainbow thing.
Nothing to discuss in a huge. But I just thought.
Yeah, but announcing it before it's actually even announced, that's kind of weird that Siri would do something like that.
And that's why I thought it was so strange. I mean, Apple must have programmed it, and then I don't know how long it was actually. That's what I'm mainly curious about.
Yeah.
How long did they program it in there for before someone asked?
And so more importantly, was it a deliberate thing, or was it a mistake? Did someone get fired for it, or is it part of their marketing?
I wonder if like someone discovered it and then it was that person in Apple that sort of leaked it to get everyone like, oh no, wait, there's not a March event. There will be an April one.
Yeah. Who knows it? Siri is no longer privy to upcoming events and Justin Morgan. So I guess they're going to keep Siri out of the loop. They're going to take her security clearance away.
Siri's like, I'm in the dark list like all of you now.
This is totally off the track, but Siri doesn't like ultrasonic cleaners one little bit. So
really?
Whenever I switch on my ultrasonic cleaner, it's just constantly trying to answer.
Siri doesn't like your ultrasonic cleaner.
I guess so. But yeah, it's just constantly sort of saying, I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. It's just like over and over and over and over again.
Since we're on this subject,
I couldn't find that on the web.
Since we're on the subject of Siri, I want to ask all you guys here, which voice do you use for Siri and which accent?
I think
I
I
don't
was like
use
the
Siri.
British dude one. I don't. The few times I use it, I'm not really.
I
into
actually,
that.
believe it or not, I have the female Australian.
Oh,
Mine
interesting.
is female UK.
Yeah, I have the
Is
Australian.
there a name?
I
Does she
think
have a
mine's
name?
the
I don't
default
know.
one. I never changed it.
So
Yeah.
you just have Siri, whatever, US, yeah.
You got the.
I think I've changed mine, but I'm not really too worried about it to
The
like
last-
actually bother.
Yeah, mine just says British female.
The last time I changed it, my phone was so critically low on space that it automatically deleted the language packet downloaded for like the extra Siri, and it went to like the voice control Siri, which is like the bare bones like Albert from the old speech control panel, like this is a voice that is talking to you or whatever.
So Bruce, do you have like the American version of Siri or?
Hey Siri.
Uh-huh.
Didn't say much.
Uh-huh.
Camera shy.
I have the
What
Sheila,
do you want now?
the Australian Sheila. I have the Australian female.
Ah, that's what I have on mine. And it's funny too because I just like the accent. It's just but
Hey,
I really would like to use the Irish accent, but I don't think it's very authentic.
does it have an
It's
Irish
very
one?
mild. It's very mild as far as I can
I'm
tell.
gonna
I
have to
want
try
the
it.
heavy Irish accent.
I mean, the
That's what I
Australian
want.
one is not. It's kind of mild too, but it's
Right.
you can hear the subtleties. There's a lot of big difference between the UK one because the UK one is like real strong, British
It is.
accent, but then the Australian one is kind of a mixture between the UK and the American one. But then it has the actual Australian accent in there, which I like it. It works
Definitely
for
Australian
everything I do.
accent.
Huh?
The woman actually provided the voice. She was interviewed on a sort of talk show here a while ago, and so she actually came on and just chatted about the whole process of recording it and all that sort of stuff, and the fact that she hears her voice everywhere she goes.
I don't know. I just like the way you guys say aluminum.
Aluminium.
Yeah, see?
They insert letters that aren't there.
Yeah.
Well, the letters are there with our spelling. It is spelled aluminium.
Do they spell it with a third eye? Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
a second, rather.
Yeah, we didn't just add it for nothing.
And I try to say it that way. I can never say it that way, so I won't even attempt it.
How do you go with like linoleum? You're able to say that okay? 'Cause
Linoleum.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Linoleum.
You can do aluminium.
No, I can't. I have tried it so many times.
Aluminium.
Yeah.
I could
So-
probably.
So
I think we kind of drifted off topic a little
Yeah,
bit.
Speaking
but we were
of
talking about
events,
Siri.
don't
We were
do
talking
that.
about Siri, so
I think we did.
Yeah, we're talking about Siri accounts.
it's kind of still on topic, but not. All right, so
Maybe at the Apple event they'll say, "Hey, we finally improved Siri." Not like
who
Shark.
knows? All right.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about the Apple event and Siri, let's talk about what are the products that are overdue for an update. I mean, not what we think is going to happen
Siri.
at the event, but what products do we think, as Mac Yak, think that they need to update
Mac Pro.
now? Yes, the Mac Pro, I would agree, definitely.
Definitely. I think.
iMac.
I think a lot of their products need updates regarding the design language.
Yes.
For one, the MacBooks definitely need to have a new design. The iMacs, but we already think we're going to get a new design with the iMac, so those probably two. Probably not the Mac Pro, as its design is only like 2 years old. It's not really that outdated yet, but the MacBook design has been used basically since like 2015 or 16, somewhere in that range. Well, I think it's just time for something new, probably. I don't. There's nothing really immediately against it, but I feel like it's just kind of. I wouldn't mind that a bit. It
creates a lot of trouble because people were screaming about a Mac Pro update. It looks like the G5. Oh, the Mac Pro is old, and they came out with a trash can just because Johnny Ives had a cool idea. And it completely backfired. I think whatever the current product designs are, they work. So why change it?
The thing is that they do technically work. But they work. But so did the 2008 MacBook Pro design. I mean, we could technically still manufacture machines like that, but the reality is that as we go on, the design languages the companies use change, and the requirements of the products change, and I feel like it would be a good move for Apple to sort of create something like a new sort of design refresh regarding the MacBooks.
But to be honest with you, point because like the M1 logic boards for the laptops are way smaller than the Intel boards. But you can't really change the overall format of a laptop because it has to be a certain size. It has to, But are there things that they could do to kind of, that's the question. Can they do something that kind of freshens up the look of it without compromising touchscreen? Yeah, maybe.
Nope. No.
Well, I think probably
they've never been big fans of the touchscreen.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this last episode. Is that I want a
touchscreen.
I don't like touching my screen at all. In fact, I get really mad when my wife comes up and touches, and I see fingerprints all over my screen. I'm like, it's just, I just don't like it. Now on an iPad or iPhone, I don't mind it because I'm constantly like wiping it on my shirt, and doing that to get the fingerprints off. But
Bruce, I sort of have that habit with my Apple Watch. However, I bang this thing into so many door jams at this point, I don't even care anymore.
Bruce, for the next 15 minutes,
that's what they could come up with.
Touchscreen.
Yeah.
That's kind of planted.
I think every product, from Apple TV to the watch to everything in between, needs a spec bump. Especially the Mac Pro that doesn't currently support the newer graphics card because of no drivers and stuff. That's just stupid. But design-wise, I don't care. I noticed that my Apple TV is getting slow. It takes a minute to switch between apps.
Probably by design.
Yeah. So it could use a spec bump. Probably.
Yes. Yeah, I'm more interested in updates to specifications rather than the design. I can care less what it looks like.
The current design for me.
I feel like we've sort of hit the point where what also can we do to make the design better? I mean, the thing that I could see them changing in the coming years is I would love to have a beige one, yes. As long as it's designed better than the PowerBooks were.
It's going to be rose gold beige. That's what they're going to do.
God.
Oh, no.
Shoot me now. What if they created a touchscreen that does not smudge? That would make
so holographic then.
You could put a windshield wiper on it. You could just have like a little wiper that just goes in.
Can't innovate for my ass.
Yeah.
Come up with something,
that's what we hear.
Like they were all big into the molecular surfacing on the iMacs, which I think kind of flopped. But if they're kind of wanting to experiment with that, create a touchscreen that does not smudge.
Yep.
Well, they did that with the new HDR display, and I checked the one out when I was at Micro Center. Okay, so I think that anti-reflection whatever layer is an extra X amount of $1,000. And it's just as reflective as every other screen in the store. It's complete BS.
I mean, I can't afford anything Apple until it's like 8 years old anyway, so I don't really care what they bring out.
Yeah.
Well, you do care right now because then you can afford it in 8 years.
So then you have to only wait 7.5 years.
Yeah, so I'm saying, this is exactly right. So I'm telling Apple what I want in 8 years' time.
Touchscreen.
Which is?
Touchscreen. Touchscreen. I want a touchscreen. I want a great big
Touchscreen.
17-inch monitor on a laptop. Great big wide 17-inch monitor on a
Well,
laptop.
they used to have 17-inch monitors, but
I know, and I want them back.
Yeah.
And the one thing I would like to see, even though I don't own anything that would currently benefit from it, all the dongles that they sell need updating. Like I can get a Thunderbolt to Ethernet adapter just fine. I cannot get a Thunderbolt to 10 gigabit Ethernet adapter anywhere. You know, I cannot get Lightning to this, or all the dongles are old, and they haven't kept up with all the specs and protocols from the newer devices. You have to tie 5 adapters together to get to where you want to go. So that definitely needs an update, I think.
And we want
Another thing
MagSafe,
too
yes.
that they should definitely consider updating. Speaking of dongles, I guess they need to. And the thing is I feel like it's going to change with the next MacBook Pro, because I feel like they mentioned that or we've rumored that there's going to be more ports and stuff, but they really need to bring back more built-in I/O to the systems. And I mean, sure, they might be a bit thicker, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really make a difference.
I'm in complete agreement with that. Agreement with that. I mean, I feel like the sacrifice of all the I/O for size is counterproductive. It's people end up having to buy things that stick on the side, so they end up with more ports and stuff like that.
Which
We're
makes
all
it
in
even
agreement,
more
but
clumsy
they're not
to
going
use.
to do it.
No, they're not going to do it.
It's like, this is the new iMac. It has a multi-port.
Yeah, people have been talking about the I/O on the MacBook Pros since they changed it to the USB-C, and bitching about it for over 5 years now, and Apple is not changing it. I don't think they are going to change it. However,
we need one port like the one that Dana, not you Dana, but Dana Siberia did, the triangle USB port.
Oh, yes.
You can cram every interface you want in there, depending on how you insert it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, one of the things that they really do need to bring back is the actual MagSafe.
I was just going to say MagSafe.
Yes.
On MacBooks. Because
I think I heard rumors that they're going to do that, but I'm not sure.
Well, who knows?
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for them to put what they call their MagSafe little charger on the palm rest, and you just place your phone there, and it charges.
And then you close your laptop on the phone, and you're Well,
the only issue is that the trackpads are so damn big, you can't fit anything else on there. They might as well just make the whole lower surface of the computer just a trackpad, and then you can have like a little.
I was
touch
about to
keyboard.
say the opposite.
Then you could get.
I'm sure they have the technology to just take out the trackpad, make it the whole thing solid aluminum,
Yeah.
and I'm surely they have the capacitive sensors and everything to turn your palm rest into a trackpad wherever you touch it, left, right, middle. I'm sure they can do it.
I'm just
I
getting
basically
horrible
have.
flashbacks to membrane keyboards of cheap computers.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I have the 2017 MacBook Pro, and it doesn't have the trackpad has no movable parts. It's the
It's
got
all
haptic.
It's all
haptic.
Is it haptic?
The haptic
But
freaks me out.
to be honest with you, I can't really tell the difference. To be honest with you,
can.
it feels like it's actually clicking. I'm pushing down on it.
See, that would be fine with
I have
me
to say, I have
because
to agree with it. It's very strange, but it feels like something is actually moving physically down.
Yes, but if you turn the laptop off and you go click it, it doesn't move at all, and it feels weird.
Yeah, it's super strange.
It
see
feels
the
really
haptic
weird.
engine would be fine with me because ever since the PowerBook 3400, I've used tapping on the trackpad. I don't use the clicking of the mouse at all. So yeah, that'd be fine with me.
Why? Why do you do that?
It's
I
just
do it sometimes,
easier.
but I typically leave it off because you accidentally bump your wrist into the trackpad, and then
I don't have to apply force to it.
I have to admit
I'll
that
just be
I was
mousing along and
always
then boop, boop, and then that opens something.
I was very skeptical of the whole sort of haptic stuff, but when I had the iPhone 7, that had a haptic home button, and I couldn't
it's really good on the iPhone 7.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell the difference with that.
That it only freaks me out when my iPhone is stone cold dead, like the battery's dead.
Yes,
I go to pull it out of my pocket, I'm like, your button broken. Oh wait.
The other thing is, if you put it on a flat surface and press it, you don't get the same impact of the haptic. If you're holding it in your hand, it feels perfectly normal. But if you put it flat on a table and then go to press the button, it doesn't work as well.
Yep.
I want the entire Apple hardware lineup, from even the Apple TV. Screw it. Everything Touch ID. Get rid of Face ID. I hate it. It never worked right. Get rid of it. Everything Touch ID. Computers, laptops, external keyboards. Just put a sensor on it.
I think
I have to completely and totally disagree with that.
You like touchscreens, so I don't care what you have to say.
I had Touch ID on my iPhone 7, which I could never get it to work properly. And
it's very unreliable on my iPhone too. But
Face ID on this one, and I love it. Love it.
Well, you're weird.
The reason I prefer Touch ID is not as much from the fact that it works. I'm not really worried about it working better or worse. I just like the fact that it's a lot more of a secure way to get into your device versus Face ID, where somebody can apparently just hold it up to your face in some circumstances and just get right in. At least then you literally have to physically put your finger on it to get into the phone. So somebody would literally, if they wanted to get in there, would literally have to grab your finger, shove it onto the sensor, and hope that it goes through. So I feel like it's a little bit more secure, but
Yeah, maybe in terms of security, Face ID can be better. But I like, and I know that's probably unique to how I use my phone, but I'm looking at Skype right now, and I want to unlock my phone in the meantime, so by the time I'm done talking, I want to glance at it and check the weather or something. Right now, this phone is not doing anything until I stare at it for 2 seconds, then it unlocks, then I have to swipe up. So Touch ID, same when I'm in bed. I wake up, I grab my phone, put my thumb on it. By the time it's up to my face, my notifications, everything is there. And Face ID is just such a delay, especially when you have to wear a stupid mask, or you have sunglasses, or a hat, or any time, or I shave. Every time I shave, it freaks the F out. And come on, man.
All I can suggest, Jay, is that it has improved since then, because for me on this thing, it's absolutely instantaneous, and I'm unaware that it's even operating. I just literally lift the phone. I'm not wearing a mask.
But when you do,
I haven't owned this phone. I haven't worn a mask while I've owned this phone.
So I think what the best improvement for this will be, and it's been rumored for years, is to have Touch ID integrated into the display somehow. Because we have I think that this will be giving you the opportunity to do both. Have the Face ID, but have the Touch ID.
No, of course not.
What if Bruce's phone locked because it thought he was trying to steal it?
But anyways, guys, so we gotta move on here in a few seconds. I think we're getting a little bit way off topic here.
Well, I want to say
what screen do you want?
Oh, go ahead.
If they are going to keep Face ID, I want to be able to install a third-party app that utilizes all that IR scanning, so I can make 3D models of stuff.
Oh, that could be great.
You want the LiDAR scanner.
That does exist at the moment. Having said that, I have tested some of those 3D scanning things that use the thingy on it, use that whatever it's called on the front camera, and I have not been at all happy with the results.
Well, that's because the LiDAR based on your front sensor, it actually looks for facial features. So if you're scanning something that's actually not a face or anything, it won't
that's
even
why
register.
I want to open it up to
Exactly, and I agree with Jay on that. I think it should be opened up to whatever I have in its view. It gives me some feedback on, And
I'm curious of when those LiDAR scanners come to more iPads and more iPhones, because that'll be really cool to scan an object. Not something that's just designed for facial recognition, like you said, but open it up to other things. That'd be cool.
Well, I done the 12 Pro have the LiDAR on the back, if I remember correctly.
I think I know the iPad does. I don't know about the iPhone.
I think the iPhone 12 Pro and
there's
12 Pro
something
Max
about
does.
There's something about a sensor where it could sort of sense the darkness of a photo of the subject and it adjusts the lighting accordingly. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same stuff on the iPad.
Well, I know there's an extra sensor right here on the back. I don't know if you can see that in the thing, but it's right there on the back. It's a little dark spot underneath the camera thing. And
I've just scanned myself.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Oh no, wait,
scan the microphone in a bit.
It does. The iPhone 12 Pro has a LiDAR scanner. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use it to find buried treasure.
Yeah. So, but that's something like Jay was saying is that open up the API so third parties can actually utilize that thing. I agree.
Well, I just did that scan using LiDAR using an application called Scandy.
But as you can only scan your face, right?
No, you can scan anything.
Try to scan something else.
It's just the hardware is not tuned to be anything but a face. I'm sure the shallowness is pretty depth. The depth is pretty shallow.
Yeah, I don't know. My final point sort of on this is that I feel like now we have the technology to sort of incorporate a touch ID sensor underneath the screen, and it's been done on several Android phones. A lot of them use touch ID sensors that are placed below the screen, and even still work, when the screen's been scratched or whatever. So I feel like it's to the point where Apple can sort of consider putting that into their phones. I think they definitely should at least give people the option. They don't have to remove the Face ID. They could at least give the people the choice to switch between either or.
Here's the thing on those Android phones that you're talking about, because I've seen them. And if you want to put a screen protector on your phone, you have to have a little hole right there where the sensor is, and it looks crappy.
Do it like you did with the new iPad Airs that came out almost a year ago, where you have it on the sleep wake button. I think that is the perfect place to put it. Every iPhone has one of those buttons. Sure, if you could shove it into an iPad, you could probably put it into an iPhone.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice move too.
And I wouldn't be surprised with the time we're going through, where a lot of people are wearing masks, that they're going to include that button with the Touch ID sensor in their phones. I think that would make a lot of sense if they could pull that off.
Yeah, I agree.
They'll make a retinal scan.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to get into our "What Were They Smoking" segment tonight. This is a good one, and I think this is Dana provided this one. So Dana, I'll let you take care of this one.
So I saw this. This is in a what's it called? Vintage Apple Macintosh sell or buy, something like that. It's just a strictly selling market page. So this is a 2.0 gigahertz dual core G5 from what I can tell.
There's no such
thing. Dual CPU
on that.
And it's got 4 sticks of memory to what is that one? To 1 gig, or is that
1 gigabyte?
It's either 4 sticks of 1 gig, which makes 4, or 1 gig total. Anyway, I thought it was funny because
it's for 1 gigabyte 6, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, so the price
I just checked, and Dana's audio, not on Skype, but on the stream, doesn't need to have a major echo.
Really?
Oh.
I don't even have a stream.
Talk more.
I don't even have myself.
Start repeating yourself, and then make it even worse.
Steve has it too.
DTF. Woo!
And Jay.
Oh, Jay, you have it too.
I have it.
TV is supposed to mess up the audio at the start of the show, not at the end of it. Come on.
Alright, well, we better end it because we're echoing.
Well, we should have ended the second David got here, but he got here early.
Hey, nobody said anything about an echo.
Just switch to regular scenes. Something went wrong when you switched scenes.
You can blame me for doing together mode.
So it happened when he shows the picture of the
Okay.
Anyways, I'll switch it back in a second.
Yeah, switch it back.
All right. Yeah. So we're back.
Okay.
I guess somebody can just.
Is it gone now?
Yeah.
Anyway,
testing 1.
This G5 is marked currently at $500, which anybody knows is way too much for a G5.
That's like probably 50 times too much.
Right. So I'm looking through the comments and I see people talking about 1,800 is unrealistic, and I thought, what in the world? So I checked the you can view the edit history of the post. The original price was $1,800 for this 2004, 2005 G5. And
You might as well just go ahead and buy like a Lisa 2 or something.
Yeah, so at least people were being cordial in the comments and saying, yeah, it's not worth it.
Either this person just has
All
no
right,
idea what
I
he
want to make
has,
sure the
or,
echo's gone now. I think I figured out
it's
why.
gone.
Yeah, this is good now.
No. I switched
Yeah, that's
back to
fine.
the.
Oh no, you messed it up again.
Yes.
No, leave it.
I don't know.
I want to see if it's gone because I think I saw a reason why. Because
No, it's still there.
Testing.
So yeah, we're
No,
Don't
it's
send
there.
fate, just
No,
hide
no,
the darn
wait.
picture.
Yeah.
all right, we'll go back.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, it's
I would
something to
give,
do with
and
that.
that goes for
So
any
what
G5,
were
whether
they
it's the
smoking?
first generation or a liquid cooled model. I will not give you anyone at any time more than $1 for a G5 because they're pieces of garbage.
Yeah.
But they're good for vintage gaming.
So was a G4.
Yeah, but
I like my G5, so nah.
You like touchscreen.
Hey, I like
this guy
G5s too.
To $1,800.
G5s are for me sort of a machine that it's cool to to have somebody give you one hand-me-down sort of situation, mess around with it a bit and maybe use it for some things, but it's not really a machine I feel like has that much worth sort of collector-wise or is really that reliable. Especially with the
We thought that about
G5s are actually pretty darn reliable.
Except for the liquid cooled ones.
Well, the liquid cooled ones are not, but I'm talking about the air cooled ones like I have.
Yeah,
I have not
Those
had an
things-
issue with it. They're like tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, mine's permanently set up here at my side here, and this is the dual 2 gigahertz that I bought in 2003, and that was it 2003? Yeah, that was like the first wave of the G5s that came out. So, and it is still running beautifully today, and it's very easy. I've mentioned this about the G5 before. It's very easy to criticize them now, but at the time they came out, they were just so fast. There was just nothing faster than them out there. So, I mean, no, they're not old enough to be really collectible yet. And they might be one day. We'll see. But I definitely think they're a very good machine.
It really just depends. I know that they have issues with running really hot, and that might at least some of them do. I mean, the amount of fans that they have to put in the air-cooled ones.
Here's the problem.
They all run hot.
The problem is
It's a
that
hot
people
CPU.
don't know how to calibrate them properly.
You're talking about the fan noise.
Yes.
The fan noise can be be with by
exactly.
calibration, but they all run hot.
But they
Which
don't
is the reason that
run-
there was never a power boot. Ow, sorry.
I would have loved to
That's
have.
because you're
laptop
using a
with the
server
G5
class
stuff.
processor in a desktop computer. Of course, it's going to freaking run hot.
Mine has only run up to about 71 degrees Celsius. Is about the max it's ever gotten.
Well, that's freaking hot for a processor.
Yeah.
What?
It's
Not if you're
for
running.
G5.
No, I'm talking about if you're running a actual at load. I mean, at 100% CPU load. Okay, 71 degrees. Because hell, I could get my CMP to about.
I know, but that is hot. I mean, today, yes, we have CPUs that can easily do 102, 105. But back then, 70 was hot, dude.
Well, just remember, all that heat comes from the raw horsepower of the G5 processor.
Yep.
Very true.
I still not give more than $1 for it.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
there's
I
no
don't
doubt
know.
about the
I
fact.
don't
No doubt
really
about the fact
feel
they're not
like
worth much.
they're.
No, I agree
I
with
wouldn't
that.
give anybody much more than 20 or 25 bucks for one, to be honest.
So the biggest question is, what was this guy smoking?
4 sticks.
I think he was smoking. Let's see.
Sniffing all the dust that came out of the damn thing.
He was snorting G5 dust. He might have been smoking processor heat fumes. That's kind of.
I think
fun, though.
it was a liquid-cooled model that he converted to an air-cooled. Then he put all the liquid inside a bong and used it.
That sounds like Grudy.
Yeah,
Because
that's
Grudy
how I
did
came
that.
up with the idea.
Don't give Rudy ideas.
No, he's already done that. He turned a liquid cooled into an air cooled.
I think
And-
he's smoking
and he
some of
smoked a
that.
bong
Yeah.
Smoking some of that 420 Apple event.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I think all the nice corrosion from a liquid cooled model, that's what he's smoking.
Oh yeah, that works.
Yep. All right. Last thing on the list tonight is shameless self-promotion. Anybody got anything going on this week that they want to put out there?
Probably continuing to fix an SE30.
So you're going live tonight?
No. I'm probably going to stream on Sunday, I would think, which is your Saturday night. So that's my plan at this stage. I've got an event to go to tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I may end up recording and getting some footage. We'll just see what it's like. And I'll be going and picking up another Mac 2 and a 13-inch RGB monitor. So.
Screebers.
Oh, I almost forgot. On Saturday, I'm doing another one of those open talk podcasts with James. We're going to look at clones. This was supposed to be done in Marcintosh, but we got delayed, so I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Is that the same guy?
Yep.
It's okay to invite someone else once in a while,
Yeah, there's people invited. It just everything got thrown off. So
why don't you just make him the co-host so you can invite a third person?
Yeah. Then it's going to become the Mac
then I
Yak
have to
too.
pay him.
Anyway, I was gonna say I don't have any streams planned, but I guess I do have to do the retro tech talk show thing that I've been putting off for like 3 weeks because I get lazy and forget. But yeah, that's gonna hopefully happen. And wait, hold on, I can't hear anybody. 1 second. Oh no, there it goes. Okay,
We're not saying anything.
We're not talking.
Now we are.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing that, and also I was going to upload a video last night. I think I published it briefly on disassembling a Macintosh, like an original Macintosh computer, but I just took it down from the YouTube channel because I just didn't want to take a risk, because that was the video I uploaded unlisted for people to review the night that my channel got taken down. So that's available still on Odyssey if you want to. Yeah, if you want to watch it there. Let's see. I'm currently working on the second part to my thrifting video that I uploaded a few months ago, so I've already gotten some cool finds at some local thrift stores and stuff like that. What else is there?
Way to make us all look bad.
Might want to do like a small little video saying, just saying about what happened to your channel, and that way you can let your users know.
You did.
I did.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it yet, so
GT doesn't pay attention.
No, I don't.
Logan,
I got so many things going on right now because of my new house and everything. So speaking of which, I got to look at the calendar here, but I do believe that my last time hosting for a while will actually be might be tonight. So because on the 22nd, I will actually be getting stuff ready to be moved out of here on the 23rd. So I'll have to be packing up my Mac and everything that night. So Steve, you're going to have to probably,
You could just
Mike,
pack it up after Mac Yak. Come on.
well, I got a lot of stuff I got to get done because we have to have everything moved out on the 23rd. And so I will be gone, but I will still try to check in via Skype to Mac Yak on the 29th and the 6th. Now the 6th may be kind of iffy because that's the day I close. So that's
Are you going to be here on the 22nd or no?
No, I will probably
All
not
right,
be
so
here
you-
on the 22nd.
All right, so we'll
just have to have Steve and Mike fight a death match to see who hosts.
Yeah. So for 3 weeks, for 3 weeks, I won't be able to host.
Steve and I get along just fine.
So basically, for 3 weeks, I will not be able to host but the first show that I will be able to host back will be the 13th of May, and I will be fully moved into my new place. So
That's good.
Well, hope everything goes smoothly for you, GT.
I hope so, because the first day after we close, I'm got to go in and put fans up. I've got to put blinds up. We got to tape off walls, get ready to paint the next day, because the very next day, on the 7th, we got to paint walls, and then on the 8th, we actually start moving furniture in. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of work that week.
Just
What,
live
for
stream
what's
yourself
to
moving.
this house, they can't even paint the place.
No. They painted a basic color. We're putting accent walls.
Oh, okay.
Certain walls are going to be painted different colors.
It's much easier to do that when the furniture's not there.
Exactly.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
And we're painting the garage. My wife wants to have the garage actually painted because the garage actually comes unfinished. It's so that's going to take a while to do that too.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
I guess there's two more things I figure I'll go ahead and mention right now. Dave, if you're watching right now, I might start working on. I have a restoration video planned on that twin head Slim Note 48060 laptop you sent my way. It has some hinge problems and some plastic problems.
Well, that's the laptop you won, right?
Yeah, that's the laptop I won. So I'm going to try to do something on that. However, I'm kind of at the point where I'm just afraid to even open it because I don't want to make it any worse than it already is. Because I technically still can't open the screen and everything. It's just that the standoffs are broken. But that, and then I plan to do a video on some cassette decks I picked up for free that I want to see if I can get up and running that have some bad belts and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's my encyclopedia of planned stuff there. So
Logan will be releasing a video.
I'll try not to take up too much time. Yeah.
Sean says, my accent walls are great, just like the rest of my walls. I fully expected him to live in an RGB painted house.
That's why he uses so much RGB, is because his house is boring.
Right? I will not be cleaning my office. I will not be making videos. I will not be blogging about anything. I might not even be on Discord. I am fixing up a
system is normal, huh?
lawn tractor that
Mower.
I hope to finish off this weekend. And I am kind of planning a new Mac Yak challenge that I still want to put some feelers out to see if people want to participate. But
Yes.
if that's a go-ahead,
Hold on.
then there might be a new challenge coming soon.
So I have a challenge here. If you clean your office, then Steve will clean his basement.
Nope, not gonna happen.
That's a
I'll
6-month
clean my
project we're talking about right there.
That's
Okay, Steve can at least make a path from the stairs to his desk.
There's a path.
That.
Okay.
it's just that you got to navigate it.
Yeah, just because you have to jump over stuff doesn't mean it's not a path.
No, Steve.
I mean it works. I mean,
is from his stairs. You go down the stairs. You turn right, and the path is about this wide.
And apparently,
every once in a while, you might have to step over a case for like a Centris 610 or something. I mean, it's nothing important. If you walk on it, nobody's going to notice.
Steve will.
Say, apparently, the only person who has some trouble navigating Steve's basement is Mike.
Stick it under something else so that he won't fall.
Yeah, we all know how well navigating his basement went last time I was there, don't we?
I'm just glad he didn't sue.
But I didn't die.
Yeah, because did you imagine emergency workers trying to get down there?
Got down.
Where's the body? It's under
Next-
the Centris.
next-
What
next
the
we'll
hell's
see-
the Centris?
Next we'll see Steve on Hoarders.
Centris over there, not these 50, just this one. It's
I
the
think
one with
Steve
the one
should
with
keep
the
his
gray
basement
speck on the
exactly
top.
the way it is. And when Apple does figure out how to give access to the LiDAR, we can use Steve's basement to test detail in scans and stuff. Like,
There you
doesn't
go.
pick up that
Maybe
USB
you could have
cable
like
sticking
a
out.
maybe you could have like a Lisa or
We
something.
can map
where
it. We
they
can
just
map
consider
a path out. Say this is the
Yeah,
path that's the best to take.
You can
Yeah,
find the
I'll
path.
put that under
at least
advisement.
Mac 2FX is in the way. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we have come to the end of the show tonight. So appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Appreciate you being on tonight, there, Logan.
Thanks
we
for
do.
inviting.
Yeah, we do have a Discord channel. The Discord is up there right now. Also, make sure we got 16 likes and 32 viewers right now, or 34. Let's get let's just smash that. Go ahead, Bruce.
Smash that like button.
There you go.
Sorry, that was a little bit pathetic.
Yeah, it starts
Yeah,
sounding a little
come on.
pervy right now.
Smash that like button.
There we
There
go.
you go.
All right. So make sure you hit that the subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit that bell notification. We only do this once a week, so you're only going to get one notification a week if YouTube actually puts it out. And I think they did, because I actually did see a notification come out when I went live. So
Yeah, and by the way, Bruce completely lost his mojo because nobody's clicking the like button. No one.
no, only one person. I saw one. Yeah.
I may or may not have not clicked the like button.
Oh, wait. Our guest hasn't. Oh, man.
20.
All right.
Don't worry, I did it
22. There we go. All right.
The squeaky voice got 4. Oh, there it goes. Bam.
All right, guys. So had fun tonight. We will see all you guys next week. You guys have a great
Don't
week.
trip over any Centra 650 cases.
And like I said, it'll either be Steve or Mike in charge next week. So good luck to you guys. See you guys soon. Have a good evening.
Later.
2021.
Bye.